Hi guys, and welcome to another Random Platypus review. I'm hoping this will be the last one of the evening, touch wood, and I'll be able to do some editing and get some of these up and going. Now this one's a bit different because this is my little haul that I got from Platycon. So the night before Salute, some of us were already down and in the hotel, and we decided, kind of arranged a while ago, that what we would do, because we were all going to be there, is just obviously have a drink in the bar and then kind of maybe play a couple of board games. And one of the other things that was a really good suggestion by Waitwhat is to bring some bits that we don't want anymore and have like a sort of bit exchange or sprue exchange and just chuck it all in the middle, and any things that people would pick out. Some people brought some things with certain people in mind, like because they didn't want them anymore. And it's perfect. So I have to thank Waitwhat, because whilst he's been building his board for Salute, we'd been talking about alternative options out there for sci-fi boards of a kind of spaceship crawling nature. So, you know, things like that would almost appeal to the Alien fans or people that are fans of Space Hulk. And what he'd got is one of these pieces, I think, to try and see what it was like. Now he's half built it, but I'm just going to show you how it fits, because it just dry fits together fine. Now I will have to find out the name of the company and link them in at the bottom. It'll be in with the link where I normally put things for like Random Platypus and stuff. So it'll be there in due course once I put this up. But as you can see, it's really quite nice actually. I quite like it. It gives you that corridor-y feel. I guess the only concern I've got at this point is how easy it is to get figures in and out of there. Let me see if I've got something I can use to hand. Let's use... Nope, he's just fallen off his base. That's no good to anybody. Right, so we'll use a larger figure for starters, just to have a go and see. Right, yeah, so he's not going to go in easily. Some of the larger models in the smaller corridors are not going to go in so easy. Obviously, what you could do is magnetize the sides of the corridor so you can move it in and out. It's a bit fiddly, but that's one way of doing it. They do wider corridor sections, which is another answer. Obviously, for smaller figures, they should be much more suited. Again, that is if I can find one to use. I'll slam this guy in there. So I can just use a hassle-free figure. So for individual figures of a sort of human size, it should be fine. It's just, you know, if you've got big mitts, it's going to be a little bit hard sometimes to move a lot of figures around in here. But I think as a basis, it's really good. Like I say, I'll throw my figure on the floor. I will link to the company in the description below. I do intend to buy some more of their stuff. Or I say buy more, haven't bought any yet, but I do intend to buy some to expand this and see how I get on really. If I find the corridors a bit too small, I guess I can always make them a bit bigger, because essentially all I need to do is use the sides and the base I can kind of do away with if I need to and use textured plastic card instead. So the walls are fine. Obviously not glued yet, so don't worry about that. So that was one thing I got from Waitwhat. And then Soldado gave me a couple of pieces. Now, for those of you that are on the forum will know, we were set a bit of a challenge by Gomez. He sent myself, Soldado, and Waitwhat, and I'm Mcfonz, each a sort of bust up Lehmann Rust tank. And when I say bust up, it wasn't in great condition to start off with, but I believe it may have been hit with a heavy object before it was sent to us. Now, the other guys have done really well with theirs. If you have a look, I think it's called the Merrill Painting, or the Merrill Challenge. So we had to use a title of a Meryl Streep movie as the inspiration behind our building or rebuilding of these tanks. Waitwatt has done a superb job of turning his Lehmann Russ tank into the most gorgeous Spacehawk tank, and it's got a roller on it, and it does the job. It's fantastic. Soldado went the route of putting a sci-fi K2 kind of style turret on the top of his and kitting it out like a sort of really robust tank, and again it looks fantastic. He might moan a little bit about the varnish not going quite right, but I think it makes it look gnarled and kind of like a proper war battered tank. It's fantastic to me. Mine never got past the bits in the bag really, because I was a bit despondent at what it looked like. To be honest, I almost just thought we'll build a crater and stick bits of it around the outside of it, because the only sort of real pieces I could use were the tracks either side and the base plate of the hull. So I think Soldado did this deliberately to try and push me on. He actually had another turret from the same range as the one he got his from Anarchy Models, and this is the P4 Stormwalker tank turret. Now it's quite beefy. It is really quite big. Again, let me see if I've got a figure I can put next to it. So yeah, let's use an old Talon model. If you put that next to, say, the back of the tank, you can see it's quite big. In fact, the turret ring alone is 25mm. So yeah, you can see how big that turret is. I'm going to have to build a new hull for this tank. That doesn't overly bother me so much anymore, because it's still going to be better than it just being a pile of plastic bits in a bag somewhere. When I say somewhere, I've got to find it out, you see. So yes, thanks Soldado for inspiring me to kick on and really do have a go at this Merrill challenge, even though if it's several years late. But also, we've been talking about sort of projects for the next year, and one of mine was to finally get my Ronin Bushido or Daishu game off the ground. I'm not really sure which rules I'm going to go with yet, but if you see that, it's a nice old zoom out a bit, nice old Citadel miniatures box, old Harry the Hammer on the front. Obviously this was the standard box for a long time. The brilliance of the whole thing is, what they used to do is stick like a photocopy of what was in it on the back. So I got the Oriental Heroes, Alistair Morrison's, or as most people will know, Ali Morrison's, I believe. A nice little plastic case they all come in. So yeah, so I've got these guys. I say guys, there is a lady in there as well. And despite their age, they are still really quite nice miniatures. Nice bowman. The lady with a katana. There's various different ones that I quite like. I mean, this one is quite a... I think there's been that pose in lots of different things. There's I'm sure there's a adventurer that's in a very similar pose with a sword. Obviously you've got some that are less armoured than others. But again, a really nice and thoughtful thing to give you. I keep getting blown over. These guys are all so generous, and I didn't feel like I brought anything like the same as they had, but some of it went, so I must have done. But yeah, that was the stuff I got from the meet. So essentially that nearly sums up all of my Salute purchases. I think I've only got a couple more things to do now, so I shall get on with it, and I shall get doing some more reviews. So I shall catch you later. Cheers guys. Bye.